Keep yourself in the loop of everything football. Listen to Alex and Jeremiah on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Hello there, I'm Jeremiah.
I am Alex, always and forever here.
Dedicated to college and NFL football. The latest football news on and off the field. NFL draft trade rumors. We've got you covered from the NFL, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC, and everything else in between. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Thank you for tuning into the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, where we talk the latest news, rumors, and games of the NFL and college football, from the latest signings to this year's breakout stars and all of the news in between. As always, I'm Alex.
And I'm Jeremiah.
How was your 4th of July weekend?
It was pretty relaxing, actually.
Yeah?
I didn't really do too much. Just chill by the pool. Like I always talk about. I always talk about in the show.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good, man. Stay out of that heat. That's good to hear.
Yeah. How was your 4th of July weekend?
It was good. I went up to Lake Shasta.
Okay.
My girlfriend's family has a houseboat up there, so we went and joined them up there. Myself, my girlfriend, and our friend. We went up there and enjoyed the nice water and the heat and everything. We came back in town for the 4th and hung out with some friends and stuff. It was a good time.
Oh, okay.
Time.
You came back in. Oh, yeah, you were here yesterday in town because you had to do the other podcast.
Oh, yeah, I was back Monday morning.
Okay.
You know, I was back like around noon on Monday, so I guess afternoon. But
I don't do the traffic by Cal Expo. It is just crazy.
Oh, yeah.
In Sacramento.
It's that because they do the big the 4th of July stuff over there.
Yeah, dude, it was like cluttery.
The field caught on fire there last year.
Did it? Oh, yeah.
One of the fireworks fell down.
I wasn't here for 4th of July last year. This is actually the first time I was in Sacramento for the holiday. I've always gone home and visit family, but I couldn't do that.
Yeah, one of the stacks of fireworks, because they do the big fireworks here.
Yeah.
You know? One of the stacks came down on the field and lit the field on fire.
Really?
Yeah, it was intense.
I can't believe I don't remember that. Huh?
We weren't here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of people forgot about it pretty quick, but yeah, it lit the whole field on fire.
Oh, were you there?
No, my girlfriend was last year.
Oh, okay.
Pretty intense.
Yeah, but I'm saying, dude, the traffic near there, because I actually had to pick up a friend that lives by there.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I was like,
that was a mistake.
It was a mistake. Yeah,
you should have told that person no.
I didn't know that. Well, because he lives literally in between Cal Expo and Arden Mall.
You can take surface roads for that.
No, I did, and the cops had both sides blocked off. So I was like, okay. So it literally took me 40 minutes when it should have took 10.
Yeah, I drove a friend to the airport yesterday, and I dealt with some of the traffic of people coming back from taking that extra day and traveling back on Tuesday, and that was nice. I mean, it wasn't too bad. I got through it generally quick, but I mean, if you're familiar with this area, I-5 is always an issue this time of day. Anyway.
And then not only that, you get the San Francisco traffic also.
It depends. 99's better for San Francisco if you look at it that way. But I digress. This isn't. We apologize for your weather and traffic updates. Like we're a morning news television show. Let's talk and tell the people what we're talking about today.
Yeah, for our second episode this week, because we didn't have an episode for you guys yesterday. Mm-hmm. We're going to kind of react to the top 100 list so far from NFL Network. Probably talk about some notable drops, some notable first-timers, and some notable risers.
Yes.
And, of course, we're going to talk about Andrew Luck's fat contract.
Yeah, we missed
with the PH.
The
PH in the front.
We missed the ability to talk about it on our last two shows, so we want to make sure that we can just give you guys a little news on it.
And it's fat with the PH in the front. Alex disagrees with me on this, but it's PH. Fat. But I'm saying it is pretty fat, though. But we will get more into it. And then we're going to end the episode on a couple of suspended players.
A couple? You mean 4?
Oh, we're talking about 4. I thought we were talking about 3.
Oh, you're right. 3. Whatever.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we're going to talk about some suspensions that occurred late last week when we got off the air. So
yeah, see, I caught those on my football. Or I'm sorry, on the sports show.
I know you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about them, so I'll be reiterating what I already know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're gonna hear my insight now. But
man, I can't wait.
Oh man.
Oh man. Let's get into the top 100 list. So 1 through 10 premieres tonight. As always, they do the 10 through 6 in one episode. They make it an hour long as opposed to normally they do a grouping of 10. They do 10 through 6 tonight first, and then the second episode will be 5 through 1. The other episodes have already aired, so we're all the way through 100, all the way down to 211 pretty much as we are currently sitting. Some pretty notable names. I can't think of many left off the list off the top of my head. I always forget unless I'm watching the episode. And the worst thing about it right now is I think I told you a couple weeks ago, I have Dish Network at the house, and they're renegotiating their contract with NFL Network, so I literally don't have NFL Network right now.
Oh yeah, you
so I'm not recording any of these. Yeah, I'm so upset.
Yeah.
I have to watch all of the individual player videos and stuff online, so it makes me pretty sad if we're being honest. But some pretty notable some players. If those of you who missed the last episode, the recap would be 20 through 11. You had Richard Sherman, cornerback from the Seattle Seahawks. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. First timer on the list, DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver from the Texans. Patrick Peterson, who is almost in the exact same spot as last year from the Cardinals. Russell Wilson, quarterback of the Seahawks. A.J. Green, who jumped quite a bit up from his last year's spot, 21 spots up. And Von Miller, who did the same, 18 spots up at number 15 for the Denver Broncos. Then you have Aaron Donald, who we'll get into as one of our notable jumpers on the list, moving up 78 spots. Defensive tackle for the former St. Louis, now Los Angeles Rams. Khalil Mack, defensive end linebacker wonderkin of the Oakland Raiders. Carson Palmer, quarterback of the Cardinals, who was unranked last year. And I would probably say the highest unranked to ranked player on this list, I would imagine, because usually the top 10 revolves around similar players, usual same players, would be cornerback of the former Super Bowl runners-up Carolina Panthers and now current Washington Redskin cornerback Josh Norman. So
yes, he had a huge year.
He did. He did. So I would have said that I would have said Carson would have been the highest, and then boom, came right back with Josh Norman. So I don't imagine there'll be any more unranked former players on the 1 through 10, but we'll see. We'll see after today. You wanted to mention some notable players that had some big jumps. We see Aaron Donald moving up 78 spots there on the list. Who are some more players that you had that moved up quite a bit on the list?
Brandon Marshall moved up 32 spots from the Jets. He went all the way up to 25.
Okay.
Yeah, Aaron Donald, who we mentioned already, 78 spots.
That's quite a jump.
That's
not the most. Is that the highest jump?
I think it is the highest.
Excluding, of course, any unlisted, not listed players.
Yeah,
from
like
last year.
Todd Gurley doesn't count because he went number 2 and he was a rookie, so that doesn't.
Yeah, I'm not
count.
counting any unranked players from the prior year.
Yeah, and from 36 to 38, DeMarcus Ware jumped down 51 spots playing for the Broncos last year. Marshall Yanda, the Baltimore Ravens guard, rose to 42 spots.
Yes, he
Greg
did.
Olsen, who is probably one of the best tight ends in the game last year.
He's one of my favorite tight ends, man. I love the way he plays.
He's always been one of my favorite tight ends to watch.
Because he's so athletic, and he goes and gets the ball, and he's faster than you think, but he's so physical.
Yeah.
He's just fun to watch.
He's physical with an F.
I say what with a PH, Jeremy?
That's so funny because I
feel like that would make it Fisical.
Fisical?
Yeah.
Fisical. Fisical.
What about Larry Fitzgerald moving up 41 spots?
Yeah, quite a year. Quite a year with Carson Palmer there. Yeah,
it shows when he has a quarterback, man. He plays like nobody's business.
A lot of people thought his career was kind of
done.
Kind of done a little bit. But, he still has it. He just hasn't had a quarterback like Carson Palmer in a while.
Yeah, man.
Not only that, Carson Palmer was finally healthy and
for an entire season.
For an entire season, yeah.
Okay, well, we talked big jumps. How about some big drops? I have guys like, let me find one of my favorites on here. Unfortunately, Le'Veon Bell dropped 25 spots, but he was hurt. You have Dez Bryant dropping 36 spots. You have Demaryius Thomas and Gerald McCoy dropping 42 and 35 respectively, and Earl Thomas dropping 45. What are some other big names that you have on there?
Well, you got Jamal Charles dropping
another running back,
63
also
spots.
being injured.
You got Matt Forte dropping 42 spots.
Mm-hmm.
He's with the New York Jets now.
Yes.
Yeah, after Chris Ivory went to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jeremy Maclin dropped 32.
Maclin,
surprisingly, because he didn't have a horrible year this year.
No.
Like, he had a good year.
He had an okay year.
I feel like it's one of those things because the players do vote on it that they, like, sometimes you forget, especially because of the Chiefs, you don't look at them as an offensive team usually. You do and you don't in a sense, but they are carried a lot by their defense. And so if you look at it that way, I guess people might just kind of out of sight, out of mind,
Yeah, and then the biggest drop of all
by far, I think,
is Andrew Luck dropping 85 spots.
Yeah, I think the closest behind him is 63 with Jamal Charles, I think.
Yeah, so
yeah,
he got that fat contract, even though he dropped like significant.
Yeah,
amount.
Fat with an F.
Fat with a PH.
With an F and an A and a T. Yeah, I mean, obviously with the injury to Andrew Luck this year, he was held out of a lot of games this year. So it's going to be interesting to see, in my opinion, where he shapes up next year. Now, a lot
Something I also want to point out.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
There's not one player from the New York Giants on this list yet.
Eli was on the list.
What number was he on?
I'll find it. Do your talking, and I will find it. I swear I saw Eli on this list.
I swear, nope.
Yeah, Eli's 47.
47?
Yes, sir. I think he might be the only one, though.
Oh, you know what? OBJ will probably be in the top 10.
I imagine Odell Beckham Jr. will be in the top 10.
OBJ.
Now, one thing that I like is I always like seeing how close people get ranked to their former ranking. There's only one player who is sitting at the exact same ranking as he sat last year. That is
Drew Brees.
Quarterback Drew Brees. There were some close ones. Justin Houston was one higher than he was prior. He was 26 this year. He was 27 last year.
Joe Thomas jumped 2 spots. Mm-hmm. The Cleveland Browns offensive tackle.
Patrick Peterson went up 1 spot from 19 to 18. Trent Williams went up 2 spots from 47 to 45. You had Levante David up 3 from 56 to 53. You had guys that dropped 3. Phillip Rivers went from 43 to 46. And that's pretty much most of the close ones. I mean, you had Julian Edelman going up 4 spots, but he's steadily been moving up spots since he started. But like we said, we have the top 10 premiering tonight. For those of you who didn't watch the top 10 last year or any of it really, you have pretty much the cream of the crop when it comes to players. The top 10 last year consisted of Rob Gronkowski. I'm sure I don't have to tell you who he plays for. Marshawn Lynch. I'm sure I don't tell you who any of these guys play for, really. Antonio Brown at number 8. Andrew Luck at number 7. Unfortunately, of course, probably won't be showing up this time. Calvin Johnson, I don't think is on the list this year because I think they take out retired players. So Calvin and Peyton, 6 and 5. I think they'll both be out of there. DeMarco Murray, obviously, probably won't be on this list in the top. No, I don't know if he's in the list at all.
He's not. I don't think he's going to be on the list.
But I mean, top 5, top 10.
No.
Brady number 3, Rodgers number 2, and J.J. Watt coming in at number 1 there last year. So I'm going to be interested for sure to see how this shapes out. I guarantee Gronkowski will be in the top 10. Antonio Brown.
Odell Beckham Jr. He's definitely going to be in the top 10.
Mm-hmm. Brady, Rodgers, J.J. Watt. Has Peterson been unveiled yet?
Patrick Peterson?
No. Adrian.
Adrian Peterson? No, I don't think he has.
I wish you could. This doesn't let me look at just the teams. Otherwise, I would look at teams throughout, Yeah, all those guys. Obviously, Rodgers, Brady. You have Watt. You have Brown. You have Gronkowski. You have Luke Kuechly. I don't think he's been on the list yet. Has he?
I don't see his name on this list.
I mean,
you
and I talk about Kuechly quite frequently.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best linebackers, if not the best 4-3 linebacker in football. So,
do you think J.J. Watt's going to reclaim the number 1 spot again?
No.
No? Who do you think is going to take the number 1 spot this year?
Oh, man, that's hard.
Because there's so many. You can go either way with the top 10, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe top 5.
Top 5 is going to be hard. I'd have to have a list of players that haven't been listed yet. I would have to look at it in the sense of who I think of those guys would be in there, I'm going to see if I can find a list of remaining players real quick. But I don't know. People always have Brady high up there. I don't know if he will be number 1. I would be kind of surprised if Brady was number 1. Pretty much some guys have it listed. We haven't had Julio Jones yet. We haven't seen Brown yet. We haven't seen Vaughn yet. Don't forget Von Miller.
We do have Von Miller.
Well, we have. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we do have Von Miller.
Von Miller.
Von Miller
Yes.
came in at
15.
15. Yeah, I think that's a little low for him, honestly.
It is pretty low. I thought he was going to be a top 10 this year.
Same.
Yeah.
So J.J. Watt, Cam Newton, I think is probably going to be number one. So I think there's J.J. Watt, Cam Newton, Rodgers, Gronkowski. We have Brady. We have Antonio Brown. We have Julio Jones, I think, hasn't been announced yet. And Odell Beckham Jr., don't forget those guys at all.
I think Cam Newton is probably going to take the number one spot.
I think Cam Newton's going to take it too.
He had probably one of the best years any quarterback has had in a while. Ever, yeah. So
I think the top 10 will consist of Peterson, hasn't been shown yet. You have Gronkowski, and these aren't in an order. I'm trying to get the 10 in my mind. So you have Peterson, you have Gronkowski, you have Antonio Brown, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have Tom Brady, you have Cam Newton, you have. I'm like running out, I'm forgetting the names as I go through them. But, I mean, that's 7 right there. I know. So, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Adrian Peterson, Cam Newton, Antonio Brown, that's 5 right there. Brady, Rodgers, 7. I'm slowing down. Julio Jones, that's 8. I can't think 9, 10. I know
it's hard,
and
yeah.
then I see them and I'm like, oh, duh. You know what I mean? But I guess can't think right now. Oh, Luke Kuechly. And did I say Odell Beckham Jr.?
I think you did.
I know I did one time, but I don't know if I did that last time.
Yeah.
Either way, I would say 9, 10. You know?
Yeah, 9, 10 would probably be ODB, probably.
Yeah.
And I think number 9's kind of a little low for Luke Kuechly.
But that's not. That wasn't in order.
Oh,
that was not. I'm just trying to get it. I'm trying to get in my head.
Okay.
Top 10. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think Kuechly, because the offense is so popular, I think top 3 will be.
That defense was really underrated last year.
Luke Kuechly?
No, that defense, Carolina Panthers defense.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. You know, it was good, but it was with Cam.
It was very like they had like a quietly good year. No one talked about their defense that much as their offense.
They did, but everybody talked about Cam.
Exactly, yeah. Cam was the show.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be Newton. I wouldn't be surprised if it was another offensive player, but I can't justify Brady or Rodgers at number 2 because they had good and bad years.
No,
they were good,
Brady
but also
was suspended.
off.
Oh no, he wasn't suspended. He's about to be suspended. Yeah.
I mean, he did have a good year.
He had a great year.
You know, but I don't know if I could put him 2. I would put somebody like Brown 2 or Odell Beckham Jr. 2.
I would put Antonio Brown at number 2.
I could see him easily being in the top 5. I could see it being Cam, and then a receiver maybe Brown or Odell Beckham Jr. and then Gronkowski. I'm sorry, and then Watt. And then the quarterback run of Rodgers, Brady, however they want.
So Gronkowski doesn't make the top 5.
I think Gronkowski could be as high as 5.
Oh, okay.
But I think he might just be outside the 5. Mm-hmm. I think it's tricky because offense is looked at as such a productive thing. I think it's going to be Newton, Watt, Antonio Brown.
OBJ.
Yeah, I could see them going back to back, and then I could see 5 being Gronkowski, or he might drop because of, that's tricky. Cam, Brown, I want to say Brady, Odell Beckham Jr., Rodgers, Gronkowski, Kuechly, Julio Jones, and there was somebody I forgot.
Adrian Peterson?
Adrian Peterson could be top. He could be number 10.
Yeah.
I finally got a 10.
Okay.
So I guess that's my list right there. I guess that's from 1 to 10. That's mine.
I would go Cam at number 1.
I agree with you on that.
Okay, Antonio Brown number 2.
Yeah.
Watt at 3. Mm-hmm. OBJ at 4. Gronkowski at 5.
You're putting him above Brady and Rodgers? See, that's what's tricky for me is
tricky.
once you hit because 4, you can kind of have. I think Odell Beckham Jr. will be in the top 5, but I think it could flip flop with 4. How he is, he had a good year, but players will. I think people will still put Brown ahead of him for what Brown does.
Well, Brown's probably he's the top 5 player in this league, so there's no.
Yeah. I mean, obviously.
Gronkowski, I think. It is tricky to put him over.
But people, especially the players, they always keep him in there.
It's tricky to put him over Tom Brady because without Tom Brady, Gronkowski wouldn't be, as
I guess we'll see. Hey, man, I guess we'll see these 4 games.
But, well, yeah, I guess we're going to see what Gronk. But I'm going to stick to Gronkowski at 5. I'm not going to flip-flop like that. Probably Brady at number 6, Rodgers at 7. Who am I forgetting?
Peterson,
Julio
Jones.
Oh, Julio Jones at 8. 9 will go to Luke Kuechly, and then 10 Adrian Peterson. There you go. Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
You can't go either way. You can't go wrong with this with the.
Well, I mean, there's not
10 to 6.
Excuse me. There's not a wrong way with this list in general, you know.
Yeah.
As long as we're not forgetting somebody.
It's all,
that's
yeah.
obviously...
This list is all like kind of opinionated in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we're super looking forward to it. I know I am. I'm really bummed I can't watch, but one player last year that was the same as his rating the year before was Brady at 3. So we'll see if I don't think he'll reclaim that spot, but we'll see. We will definitely see. We had Antonio Brown come in at 8 last year. I have a feeling he's going to be higher than that this year. We obviously, I mean, Watt's probably not going to be number 1.
No,
Rodgers won't be 2, I don't think, and Brady won't be 3. After that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the top 10 out of the top 10 this year. You won't have DeMarco, obviously. Peyton's gone. Calvin Johnson's gone. Marshawn Lynch is gone. Andrew Luck is gone. So,
speaking of Andrew Luck, we're going to talk about his fat contract.
Yeah,
next.
exactly. That was nice. Yeah, actually, what I'm going to say is we're going to take a quick break because I can't talk about this anymore without getting just sad that I'm not going to be able to watch it. So
I can't watch either. Don't worry. I don't have cable.
Well, see,
I don't have cable yet.
I'm getting it taken away from me though. Like I should be able to watch it. But okay, we're going to take a quick break here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. You guys don't go anywhere, and we're going to come back and talk about Andrew Luck's fat with an F contract. We'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. Moving on, we're going to talk about Andrew Luck's fat contract.
We missed out last week.
That is a fat with a PH.
You clearly didn't go to school, did you?
I did. I graduated.
I don't buy it.
I graduated college. Yeah.
Did you not take any English classes?
Dude, I didn't need to take English. Well, yeah, I did. I took them at community college, so I transferred from College of Sequoias in Visalia to Sac State in 2013. I just graduated in December, and wow. I'm here with you.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on. Andrew Luck signed a blockbuster, monster, 6-year, $140 million deal last week.
To the largest deal in NFL history.
With $87 million guaranteed, which makes him the highest paid player.
Well, what's the deal? You can't just skip the money. You got to give. He's only giving the guaranteed money. You got to give him the contract money, man.
Yeah.
You just said $87 million guaranteed.
I said 140.
140 over 6 years.
That's what I said.
Come on.
Didn't I say that?
Come on, dog.
I said that.
Nah.
Yeah, I did.
Well, either way.
Either way. He got paid.
Dude, man.
And it was fat.
Oh, yeah. His guaranteed money surpasses the previous 2 largest guaranteed salary contracts, which belonged to Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers. But yeah, it keeps him in contract through 2021.
Don't forget, it surpasses Jay Cutler's $126.7 million deal.
Who's?
Jay Cutler.
Oh, that's what you said. I was like, what?
Yeah. Who'd you thought I said?
I didn't understand the name you said.
Oh, okay.
I was like, whose deal?
My bad.
It's okay, man.
Who's your deal? What's your deal?
Mm-hmm. For those of you, obviously, who don't remember or just don't remember the specifics, Andrew Luck was drafted, obviously, first overall by the Colts in 2012. And he had made a pretty smooth transition from college to NFL, leading the Colts to the playoffs in each of its first 3 seasons, getting as far as the AFC Championship game as his farthest he's made it in the NFL in 2014. Wasn't much of a game, if you ask me, but he missed 9 games last year due to injury, turning the ball over 13 times in just 7 games, which is not something you can do. He even came out and said he wasn't playing well, even when he wasn't hurt. But he's fully healthy, and he's got a couple rookies on the offensive line. That's definitely a spot of weakness for him. I'm thinking he's going to come back and just have one of those luck years, man. What do you think?
I think he might have an MVP year now.
I mean, he's always in the conversation.
Yeah, remember I had him
people.
as an MVP candidate. You know,
Do you?
I did in a couple episodes ago, if you remember correctly.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I remember.
But yeah, the thing is though, do you think this will hurt Indianapolis' chances of signing free agents? You know, in the future.
I did read that the way they did the deal was shaped up to not hinder future deals in the future.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be something. They did the same thing with Peyton. Irsay was saying where it's excuse me, it's not going to be a deal that doesn't allow them to sign free agents and have cap space. You know, that's one thing. Like being a Steelers fan, I always know is the Steelers don't have an issue with like big contracts, but they often don't have a lot of cap space. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I read that. Yeah, from Irsay that's not going to be an issue. I'm not really up to date on all of the ins and outs of contracts and how exactly that they did that, but I'm sure it's the way money is handled over time. You know?
Yeah, if Andrew Luck stays healthy, he doesn't have to use his degree anymore.
I mean, he's a smart guy.
He is smart. Didn't he major in architecture or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah. He wanted to build stadiums.
Yeah, he's a really smart guy.
I think he probably will still do it after his NFL career season is over.
Yeah, he's not much. I mean, he's a talker, but he doesn't have like a radio voice or anything. He's a funny sounding guy.
Yeah,
he really is.
Yeah.
But no, I remember with his rookie year, he refused to come. Not refused, like no, I'm not going. He said to the Colts that okay, no worries, but I'm not coming to training camp until I finish my degree.
My degree, yeah, and he did that. Yep.
And he did. He came. He didn't go to like regular rookie camps or anything like that, I think. But he's always seemed to put like his life and sense first, and then football comes second. But football is also kind of his life, so it's been really impressive to see. He's just one of those guys that you love seeing in the biggest stage of sports. He's a good dude. He's humble. He's funny. You ever listen to his mic'd up stuff?
Yeah, I have.
And he gets hit. And he goes, "Oh, good hit, big man." And he just says he's just he's awkwardly funny. It's kind of like Peyton, except for he talks a little bit more.
Not only that, his voice. I couldn't get over his voice.
His voice is funny.
When I first heard it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, he talks like a nerd." I'm kidding.
He does have a kind of funny voice.
This is when I was graduating high school and then he was still in Stanford. I was like, "Oh, he still talks like a nerd." But I don't think like that anymore. But he's a good player. I think the next step for Andrew Luck is to now go to a Super Bowl and win the game. Mm-hmm. That's definitely the next step to him. The next step.
Yeah, it's time for him to.
It's definitely that time now. He has a contract. He has to earn it now.
It's just about getting that team behind him,
Yeah.
It's just about getting that team behind him because it's kind of like with Peyton. Peyton was playing at these high levels his entire career, but he only got to a total of 4 Super Bowls because he didn't always have a team behind him. So it's about building that team with him. Mm-hmm. That's what Luck needs to do. That's what the Colts need to do. Is they really need to get some players behind him and really start building a team that can contend in Super Bowls because believe me they did well that season. They got to the AFC Championship game, but they didn't look like a team that even deserved to be in the AFC Championship game when they got down to playing it. So it's definitely time for them to step it up and start contending. They're hopefully building a team. They got some good young pieces. It's hopefully they can build. With that, it's the defensive side of the ball that needs to be looked at. Yeah,
they do have a lot of good young pieces on offense. They got T.Y. Hilton, Dante Moncrief, Phil Dorsett. They still have Dwayne Allen at tight end.
Yeah, he's been a pretty good target for him. I liked when Luck signed his deal. T.Y. tweeted, I forget what he said. He's all excited, blah blah blah, and they're going to get this trophy and all this stuff. And I like their little their motto. It's like a hashtag like 12 by 13 or whatever, because Andrew Luck's 12 and T.Y.'s 13.
Yeah.
Kind of deal like that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
It does sound cool, doesn't it?
Sounds cool. 12 to 13.
Yeah, I forget exactly how it was, but whatever he said, it sounded cool. Yeah. And I didn't realize. I was like, oh yeah, they are 12 and 13. Well, we went kind of long on our first discussion, so what we're going to do is take one last break here, and then we're going to get into those suspensions. They're quick.
Yeah.
Just some guys being a little silly with their with their money, A
little silly. All right, we'll see how silly they are. Okay.
All right, man. We'll take a quick break here at the Golden State Media Concepts football podcast. Don't go anywhere, Jeremiah, and I will be right back. If you leave right now, Jeremiah's going to start crying, so don't do that. And we'll be right back.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. Jordan and Keith is Entertainment Tonight meets Access Hollywood.
I'm Jordan. The guy laughing, that's Keith.
Yeah, I'm Keith.
An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
All right, we're back. Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. So, we're going to end this episode off with some suspension news that happened over the weekend. We have 3 players, so we're going to go ahead and just get right into it with the shortest of all the suspensions. And Jets defensive lineman Sheldon Richardson suspended 1 game for violating a personal conduct policy. Unfortunately, he will miss the game week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals, as a matter of fact, on September 12th. I'm sorry, no, that's not what it is. That's when he's eligible to return to practice. Excuse me. So week 1, yes, against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not sure what the personal conduct policy is. He pleaded guilty to resisting arrest after leading police on a high-speed chase, so maybe that's what it was. He avoided jail time, but he was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 100 hours of community service. For 4 traffic violations, he was fined a total of $1,050. He was arrested for driving a 2014 Bentley at speeds as high as 143. Oh, my Lord.
143?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, 143 miles per hour while trying to avoid police in suburban St. Louis, his hometown. He was accompanied by a 12-year-old relative.
Wait, what was he like? Was he driving with Vin Diesel? Like, what was he doing?
I don't know, man. Police also reported a strong odor of marijuana in the car and discovered a loaded semi-automatic handgun. The gun was possessed legally, though, and he wasn't charged for any drug possession or child endangerment because prosecutors said there wasn't sufficient evidence.
He was also accompanied by a 12-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think sufficient evidence of 143 miles per hour with a 12-year-old in the car could be child endangerment, but whatever. I'm not going to get into that. I think 1 game is that seems a little.
Wow, what? Yeah, 1 game is
that seems a little lax.
That's a little low.
I mean, that's breaking laws. I mean,
that is a little low.
I'm not going to get into all the stuff with the marijuana.
Like if I was going
like that,
if I was going 143 in my Mazda 3. I probably wouldn't even be here. Let's just say that.
Yeah, like I'm not going to get into it with all of the marijuana stuff, whether that's good or bad or right or wrong or whatever. But I think when you break the law and there's a little bit more like child endangerment and all this stuff, like maybe that should bode 4 games. But policy is policy, and we're not going to get into it. Go ahead and bring us to our next suspension.
Yes, as you all may know,
the biggest surprise
ever is Johnny Manziel suspended for 4 games.
Who cares?
To start the NFL season.
He's not even going to play 4 more games in his career, okay?
For violating the league's substance abuse policy. He's not even on the team.
No. And he did get...
it doesn't kind of like... I don't really get this suspension.
He did get
kind of talked about this.
Yeah, he did get asked by he did get an offer from an arena football league. From the arena football league to come play.
The league, not from a team, but like the league. They want him to play for that league. And if I was Manziel, I would take that offer. He needs football now.
No, he needs to take care of himself before he gets onto a football. That's my opinion. He doesn't need to get in anything more of this. And we've talked about Manziel enough to we don't even need to tell you any more about it. He's suspended. That's it.
We I'm not gonna lie. I was actually surprised Manziel was suspended because he's not going to be on the team. Like,
well, I mean, they still have to do it technically.
I know, but. Whatever. All right, we talked about him enough already. Oh, wait, moving on to our last suspension. Rolando McClain, Dallas Cowboys linebacker, suspended for 10 games for violating the NFL substance abuse policy. And remember, he was suspended for the first 4 games last year, too, as well, for for violating the same policy as well. Yeah.
I don't get this. I mean, I told you, I'm not going to talk about it in depth, but I don't get this kind of stuff. How some guys get suspended more than once for substance abuse, but he hasn't been suspended a whole year, I don't think. Has he?
No, and then like Martavius Bryant, he was suspended for a whole year. Yeah, I don't
get how
it either,
Yeah, I don't get how it's how they do this decision.
Yeah, I don't know how they justified what the length of suspension for each policy. I don't know how they justified it. It's been kind of it's more of a complex issue now because you get like a 4-game suspension, 6-game suspension. 2, it might be for like the same policy, like the substance abuse policy. Like Johnny Manziel got 4 games, Ronald McClain got 10, Martavius Bryant got 10, the whole season.
Yeah, I don't get it, man.
Yeah,
but we
Josh
won't get
Gordon
too
is out of the league for that.
Well, he did it like 3 times.
He did it like 3 times, but yeah, still,
One last story we'll get into real quick before we get going. Another legal issue, I suppose, for a player is again now once former, now current Seattle Seahawks cornerback Brandon Browner. Excuse me, I would say Brian Browner. Brandon Browner is being investigated for alleged assault of his his girlfriend's father on Tuesday night. So they're going to get into that. Not much news that's currently out there, but a little, maybe something that could be heading to suspension for him as well. So no more news for that. I don't want to talk about the players that make the league look bad. We'll talk about the good stuff. So next episode is going to consist of us talking about BYU wanting to get into the Power 5 conference. Talking about Trevon Boykin, who current Seahawk, as a matter of fact, former TCU quarterback, and some of the stuff we talked about, I think, last week with him, and some legal issues, and a little bit of a fun story for Jeremiah here and Miles Killebrew. We're going to leave it at that. And
then, we're going to talk about a new Netflix series, Last Chance U, for you college fans out there. I think you guys will enjoy this. So, yeah. We'll see you in the next episode. So, you want to tell the good people where they can follow us at?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at the GSMC _football podcast. You can find us on Facebook at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, as well as on our website at gsmcpodcast.com with all of our wonderful shows on the network. And don't forget to visit us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, any streaming account you can find, as well as YouTube. You can find us on all of those. You can leave comments. You can leave reviews, all those kind of good things. Subscribe on iTunes and those accounts at the GSMC Football Podcast. And you can find all of our shows. If you just search GSMC, you will see all of them on there. As always, I am Alex.
And I'm Jeremiah. And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, listen to this podcast.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell their mom about our podcast because, when you tell moms, it gets out like wildfire.
Oh, yeah.
So we will see you guys on our next episode. It's going to be pretty exciting. Don't forget to tune in, or you can, tune in another day, I guess.
Be there or be square.
Be there or be obtuse.
Oh, okay.
Did you like that?
I did like that. Obtuse.
Good, man. I'm glad. All right, guys. We will see you on the next episode. Have a good one.